from Michigan. I got back yesterday, I think Sharon Thursday evening. A group of 6 of us went from the district to the village church in Berrien Springs, Michigan, near Andrews University. So it was myself, Sharon, 2 from Bowling Green, Glory Proudfoot and Karen Griffith, and 2 members from Swanton. We had Brandy Myers and her daughter, Anna Myers, who just graduated nursing school. And we all took part in a medical missionary training program for 16 days. And it's very intensive, 16 days, starting at 7:30 every morning, going till 7 in the evening. But it was a wonderful experience. So I'm just going to give you some quick facts about it. And then Sharon has some photographs, and she's going to tell you about her experience of the program. So 16 days, the trainees, so we were all counted as trainees. In fact, in my case, I actually did this program 3.5 years ago before I came here, because I felt impressed that I should learn more about medical missionary work and how to help people in that way. And even though I didn't feel it was something I could do myself, I was just finding out about it. I was convicted during that program that it was something I could learn sufficient about to be able to help people with some simple remedies. And I encouraged some others to go, and praise God, 5 from our district went. It also included some health guests, so 10 people paid to come to the church for 11 days to receive treatments. And the trainees, after just a few days training and some preparation, were the ones primarily giving them the treatments. And they're the kind of things, it was hydrotherapy, charcoal treatments. It included nutrition. That was a big part of the program, was the food. So all the meals were provided by this wonderful team in the kitchen, and they explained how they were preparing the food and why. And it included a lot of exercise as well, every day, 7:30 exercise in the evening, walking after meals, and spiritual counselling, which is a part I was largely involved in. Each person had several appointments where we're talking about spiritual issues, because they're all related. Physical, emotional, spiritual are all related. So that's what we were doing. And of course, that involved a lot of volunteers. So I was one of the volunteers, but there were a lot of volunteers from the local church and people who travelled to help. So very good experience with a lot going into it. But I'm going to hand over to Sharon. And we're recording this, by the way, because Linda Langston particularly wanted to hear Sharon's report. So I'm going to pass Sharon the microphone and the clicker.
Okay, so this was an immersion program, and I don't know if you all have heard of immersion programs before or not, but that means you're like totally immersed in it, right? And a lot of times they'll do that for languages. You know, you're immersed into the culture and you learn a language that way. And so it's like really effective and engaging, and it kind of forces you to learn. So in this case, we were kind of like immersed in it immediately and started to learn these hydrotherapy techniques. And we initially just saw them done for the first few days, but then shortly thereafter, then the guests arrived. So we also had a lot of training and along with the guests. So the guests kind of learned the same things, and we were all learning together. And Pastor Mike Hess from the village church was, and he's also a doctor. He's a pastor and a doctor. He was one of the instructors. So here we are, all of us getting together and learning something. Now, a lot of the things we learned was on they called them CHIP videos. The CHIP stands for Complete Health. Complete Health Improvement Program. So a lot of what we learned was from that. On the CHIP programs, it's kind of like a lifestyle medicine program that's aimed at preventing and even reversing chronic diseases. And so that's like arthrosclerosis, kidney disease, arthritis, that type of thing, cancer, obesity. And so all of those are addressed, but they were especially looking at the benefits of diet and exercise, particularly plant-based diets. and exercise, and actually, and not only just preventing these diseases, but like I said, actually reversing the diseases. So it's amazing what has been done and all the studies that have been done that verifies this over and over and over again, that some of these chronic diseases can actually be prevented and reversed. And so then this is another one of the instructors, and this is Dr. Kelly. And is he a pastor too? I don't think he is. No. But so he's like this brilliant man who actually he started the Lifestyle Medicine Association. I may not be saying that completely correctly, but he started that in America, in the United States, and he's really just has all this like belief and love for and in believing that lifestyle is such a huge factor that can prevent these diseases. And so he like made this, like really was instrumental in getting it started here in the United States. So these are the health guests that came. Like I said, we learned the techniques for only about 4 days, I think, before the health guests came. And then each one had issues, obviously, that which is one of the reasons why they wanted to be guests, and they paid to come there and have these treatments done to them. So initially, I won't go there yet. Initially, we watched the trainers, and a lot of them were nurses, but not all of them were nurses. We watched the trainers actually do the techniques on us, and we then did them on each other. But then we actually had to do it almost immediately on the health guests. But of course, we were supervised by the trainers, and eventually we just did it totally ourselves on the health guests. So that's how you're kind of immersed right into the program, right? And they kept us busy. It was really rigorous. But the good thing is we had great food. Of course, all of it's really plant-based, really high in fiber. So I think they started us off with 3 meals a day with a small supper that we got to take home with us. But then eventually it was cut to 2 meals a day, but you don't even miss the fact that you don't have like 3 meals, because there was so much in fiber that it just really, really fills you up. And that's one of the huge things about this lifestyle program, is that the way that it lowers cholesterol, the way that it lowers even your weight and all this stuff, and it can be done, and you can still eat and not feel hungry, and all of the benefits that you get physically from it. So we had great food and lots of it. That's like a taco salad type thing, or a haystack. I'm not sure exactly if it's exactly the haystack type thing that you're familiar with, but I think all the ingredients are there. That was excellent. And there's some of the kitchen workers, and some of you may know Tony, and how do you say her last name? Minicus. I couldn't say it. I knew it started with an M. So Tony was helping in the kitchen, and that was our main cook right there, the lady that's standing there talking with Tony. And you can see the other people are all kind of sitting around there. They're all eating or getting ready to eat. This was our schedule for the couple of weeks, and you can see, I can't see it very well. It's written really small, but we started some of the days at 6:30 in the morning. And some of the days, most of the days, though, we started at 7:30 in the morning, but quite often we didn't leave until 7 or 7:30 at night. And when you're done with the day, every minute is busy. And we did have time for exercise every morning. We started with worship and ended with worship, and so that's why you're kind of immersed into it all day long. You're kind of going from one thing. All of the gray type areas were where we actually did the treatments on the guests. So like I said, we basically went through the same thing that they did, and a lot of the health guests did find relief from the pain that they may have been feeling. I know a lot of them found differences in their blood, like especially cholesterol and that type of thing, at the end of the program, because they checked our blood at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. Even the trainees, they checked ours too, and we could see the differences in what the exercise and all of the spiritual, the worship, and how it all had a play in bettering our lives and especially helping the health guests to see what changes they could make. It was very specific, the printouts that they gave us, very individualized and said specifically maybe where you really needed to focus based on all of the information that we had provided, which included lifestyle and stress and that type of thing, and depression. They included all of that. So here's a few more just shots of us sitting eating. I think you can see, I think Glory's in that picture. So there's Glory and the lady on the right had a really wonderful testimony. And she said she doesn't mind if I say, her name was Tiffany Webb. She's in the all blue outfit. And she gave a testimony at the very end. She was actually a trainee, and she kind of works in healthcare. But she, at one time, weighed 450 pounds. And she made a lot of lifestyle changes. She did have a surgery, but she had to make a lot of lifestyle changes even before they would allow her to have the surgery, along with psychological counseling and all this type of stuff. And so she was a living testimony and I think all of the guests really liked hearing her story. She's a really wonderful person, and then I particularly made friends with this Japanese lady on the left. Her name's Kaoru Teal, and she really helped me get through it, because when I was feeling like I couldn't do it, then she'd be like helping me, and when she felt like she couldn't do it, we were kind of really supporting each other. She was very, very, very much a gift of God for me to get through that program, I'd say. And then these are two of the lady on the left is a nurse, and then the lady on the right is not, but they both were the ones that, primary ladies that taught the hydrotherapy techniques. So, and then this is actually, so this is a group with the pastor, of course. So these are the people that he brought. And so 5 of the trainees were out of 7 were from the pastor's, our church, our district here. So hopefully you guys all know who they are. Karen Griffith, Glory Proudfoot, Anna, who is Brandy's. Brandy is the one behind me with her hair up in big bun. She has tons of hair. And that's her daughter, Anna, and they're from the Swanton Church. And so that was them. And then this is all of the trainees, which just added then Tiffany Webb, the lady that I had talked about, and then my friend Kaoru. And then we actually did get a diploma, a certification, whichever you want to call it, for a lifestyle medicine program. It actually says on it also about the fact that I successfully completed the CHIP program as well, which, like I said, is the Complete Health Improvement Program, and then the Lifestyle Medicine Program. So we actually did. So I think that's about it. It was rigorous, but I definitely learned how to do. We learned how to do fomentations, contrast showers, using the charcoal poultice. How you could, and a lot of stuff you just learned, and it wasn't just those techniques. We learned a lot of other things. We learned also like the Russian steam bath and contrast shower, and I think and the hot foot bath. So those are the primary things that we learned, although there was so much information of what we learned, and it was really worthwhile. So, okay.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay.